So you're getting some clients, but maybe it's not consistent, or maybe you're making 3, 10, 15, maybe up to $20,000 a month. I am willing to bet that you've been told that the next step is for you to hire setters and closers. Completely wrong. I think that is one of the most expensive pieces of advice in our industry. Not because setters and closers don't work, they absolutely do, but they just don't work at your stage of business. And the thing is, somewhere along the way, multi-million dollar business advice got handed down to five-figure coaches who realized they couldn't play that game. And now a lot of people are quite frankly paying the price. And for the record, I've used setters, I've used closers, and in my first year of hiring, I hired and fired 17 people. And if I remember correctly, I think 10 or 11 of them were setters alone. And since then, I've used setters successfully and I've fixed the problem. So in this video, I'm going to show you why setters and closers, quite frankly, will drive you out of business if you're not doing at least $50,000 to $100,000 a month, and how to install a pre-selling system that sets the calls for you and lets you keep 15 to 25% more profit for yourself. So the first problem is that when you install setters and closers and you're not at that level, you start bleeding profit. Now, a good setter, a good appointment setter is going to cost you anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000 a month for a good setter. That's how much they want to be paid. And for a good closer, you're talking about $7,000 a month. We're talking US dollars here at the very, very minimum, and more like $10,000 a month and maybe even more. And if we're talking about commission, because that's usually how these are paid, you may pay a setter on a base plus a commission, but let's just talk about commission here. It's typically 5% for a setter and 10% for a closer. So if you want to be paying that 3 to 5K a month, let's say 5K a month for the setter and 10K a month for a closer, you need to be doing $100,000 a month consistently. And so this is really the game plan for multi-million dollar businesses, accounting businesses, financial services, insurance companies, companies that go out and give quotes and do installations. And quite frankly, you can't afford it. And if you do afford it, if you do find people who are willing to work for less, you're just going to get bad talent. And again, I've experienced this firsthand, because who's going to work, what kind of good appointment setter is going to work for $1,000 or $2,000 a month? And what kind of good closer is going to close for $4,000 or $5,000 a month? I've even had people with certifications. I've taken people in, appointment setters from some of the biggest appointment setting programs. And it's not that the program is bad. It's not even that the people aren't good. The problem is they bring people in. They just want to certify everybody by getting them to answer some questions or do some role plays, which are completely different to real interactions. So you bring these people in and then they start just giving the most salesy conversations, and they're terrible. And I've brought in tons of them. And then even overseas talent. When that didn't work, then I thought, okay, I'll bring in some overseas talent who I can pay less and train them myself. That worked out decently. These people were good, but there was just some kind of nuances that didn't work that well. Some kind of language barrier stuff or other subtle nuances. And that takes me into my second point, which is even if you do by a miracle find these people that you can pay less, is retaining talent. In this industry, just like many others, skills are transferable. So if somebody is good at selling your offer, guess what? They could just go to another offer and do double the sales and make double the commission. And same with setting. And this is what you'll find. You'll find a lot of the good setters and closers who are making money, good money in this industry, they just go to the people who have a really big personal brand and a really good offer. And I don't blame them. I mean, they do the same amount of work. They close more appointments and more deals. So if you do get good people in your business, trust me, it's very hard to retain them. They will leave. And even though I said $7,000 to $10,000 a month for closers, most recently when I see hiring ads, it's pretty much like $15,000 a month on track earnings for closers with bonuses as well. And even if you think that you can get the talent and build them up and you think you can retain them, what does it take to retain top talent? Well, it takes the right culture. You need to give them some kind of benefits or perks. You need to give them recognition. And in addition to culture, you need to give them a growth path for progressing. Because if they come in and they're making $5,000 a month as a setter, Trust me, that setter doesn't just only want to make 5 grand a month for the rest of their life. And same with the closer making 10 grand a month. They have big aspirations. So you need to lay out a growth path for them with you progressing as well. And they need to see you progressing, not just so they can see how they'll earn more, but for the culture fit. And they need to see you as aspirational. So if they see you making 100 grand a month, that's great. But then they need to see you go and make 150 grand a month, 200 grand a month, 300 grand a month, so that they can see your growth as well. They can see you as that leader, but they can also earn more. And what happens is most coaching businesses aren't set up for that. They don't get to those heights. So what happens? They bring people in, they train them up, everything seems good, and all of a sudden they lose people. And they lose somebody, and they bring somebody else in, and they lose them, and they bring another setter in, and then they lose their closer. And they just stay on this hiring hamster wheel. Your best people, if you start building, would go to bigger offers, like I said. Maybe they'll go to Alex Hormozy or Cole Gordon or just any other big offer, especially in the sales space. And that also leads me in, naturally, to problem number 3 as well. If you do manage to get these people and retain them, despite everything I've said, well, now you become a full-time manager, which probably isn't the reason you got into this. But now you have a setter, you have a closer, maybe you have multiple, and you are managing that person. You are managing their performance. You are training them. You are uplifting their morale during hard times. You are dealing with days off, and this impacts you growing the business. Because in your coaching business, you have 2 main jobs, right? Your 2 main jobs are creating content, because that's something that nobody else can do for you, and you have delivery, whether that is you one-on-one with clients, in groups with clients, or however you do that. Your 2 main jobs are content and delivery, and of course, making big decisions around the business. And so if you do bring those people in, and now you are managing all those people as well, then you'll also need somebody else for content. So to take some of that off your plate. And even if you think, again, that you can make this work, look at the companies with setters and closers. I don't just mean somebody with 1 setter and 1 closer that makes it work. That's great. But on the whole, most companies that have this in place, what do? They hire a manager to manage those setters and closers so they don't have to be doing it, and they can still go and focus on the big needle-moving tasks of the business. But what happens when you hire a manager for the setters and closers? You know what actually happens? That's another 6-figure salary going out the door. So now your setter's taking 5 grand a month, your closer's taking 10 grand a month, and your sales manager's taking, let's say, another 10 grand a month. It'd probably be slightly different to that. That's 25 grand a month walking out the door. Now, can you do that as a business making 400, 500 grand a month? Yeah, you can, and it probably is a good idea. But when you're not at that level, it'll just bankrupt you. And in addition to the 3 main problems I've given you, there's a bonus one as well, which is sales conversion versus marketing conversion. Does Porsche need to DM you to death to sell you a 911 Turbo S or hard close you? No, you probably go on a wait list and you wait for a call telling you you're allowed to buy one. Does a real estate agent have to message you to death and hard close you on a property? Or does university have to do this to sell you an expensive piece of paper? And you might say, okay, I'm not in those industries. What about this industry? Again, Hormozy had a $100 million day. I don't recall him DMing everyone to death or having to hard close people on calls for this stuff. Or Tony Robbins. Admittedly, I haven't bought anything from Tony, maybe a book. He doesn't have to do this either. And so even if you do this with setters and closers, I've just shown you, you can do it without it. And even if you are doing it with setters and closers, the problem is everyone's wise to it now. At the beginning, nobody knew it, but everybody knows when they're talking to a setter and you've just followed somebody and they start trying to find out your goals and what you do. And it's annoying. It pisses people off. And if people are coming inbound, that's cool. You can use the setter, but then you don't really need to. They're coming inbound, and that's your marketing doing its job. So, okay, what's the solution to all this? Because I've given you all the bad problems. Well, don't worry, there is a solution. And the solution is simply just to fix this by doing what the setters and closers do, but without having to pay that amount, and do it in a way that actually makes people want to buy and suits buyers nowadays. So what do setters and closers do? Well, what they do makes sense. From a logistical standpoint, the setter qualifies, confirms fit, sets the appointment, and the closer runs the call, builds a relationship with the person they're talking to, isolates the problem, finds out that they're looking for help, gets the commitment, presents the offer, makes sure the offer works for the prospect financially and logistically, and closes the deal, and follows up if the deal doesn't close. So to replace what the setter does, we just do all of that in our marketing. Our content makes people problem aware, solution aware, builds trust, shows our results and our clients' results. It qualifies the person, it confirms the fit, it books them in. And then you have emails to nurture people and again, book calls. So your marketing, your content, your emails is doing all of that. And if you want, you can step in the DMs lightly, because at that point, all you're doing is you're not going back and forth and trying to force people into a call. You're just answering a few questions and people are coming inbound. And that brings me back when I talked about sales versus marketing conversion to a Naval Ravikant quote. I'm probably paraphrasing here, but he said, "You're doing sales because you failed at marketing." So think back to all those examples I gave you: Porsche, house, university. They don't have to try and hard sell you on those things. And the one that stands out is university doesn't have to hard sell you on selling you a piece of paper for $100,000, which probably doesn't even get half the results your program does. And when you do this through marketing-based conversion, instead of trying to be so heavy on selling, when people spend enough time with you and they've gotten results from your content and they've actually internalized what you say, they want to buy. And so you just make all of these things that I mentioned clear in your marketing. And if you do hop in the DMs, then it's just a few questions here and there. You're just answering a few things to get them to take the next step. You don't need to be in the DMs answering things all day long or building relationships, as people say. You don't need to build relationships one-on-one in the DMs. You can do that at scale through your content. Think about the biggest movie stars. You feel like you have relationships with them, right? Did they DM you? No, but you feel like you know them, your favorite sports players. Again, parasocial relationship, which you've probably heard me talk about before. And to be completely transparent, we are experimenting with AI appointment setting. But right now, what we do is just simply through marketing, and it's enough to pre-sell and show how we can help people address all their concerns, get them to see our case studies and results, and make them want to book the appointment on their own, leaving me to only handle a couple of questions in the DMs if I want to. And then to replace the closer, you have two options. You do it yourself, or you have a self-checkout. So people going to a sales page or buying through the DMs. Now, everybody is talking about selling without sales calls. I do it for a lot of deals as well. But for the purpose of this video, I would say if you're under $30,000 a month, just don't do it. Just do the calls for now, because you're going to get higher close rates. And if you've done all the marketing like I explained here, you're going to get shorter calls. Your call should be 20, 30 minutes max. So let's say you're taking 6 calls a week at 30 minutes. That's 3 hours of calls. You close at 50% because you've done so much in your marketing. And your offer is $5K. You just made $15,000 a week for 3 hours of calls. You can do that, and I'm sure you'd gladly do that. And a lot of people report that sales calls are exhausting. They're only exhausting because they're having to fight objections and fight people who don't want to buy and shouldn't be there in the first place. When you do things this way, calls have gone from exhausting sales calls to the highest ROI activity you could possibly do in your business. And if you are over 30K a month, you could still do this, to be honest. But if you did want to do things a bit more hands-off, if you have a large growing audience, you have a ton of inbound leads every day, you serve them multiple touch points, you can try self-checkout and then obviously look at the data versus calls. But that could be selling through a sales page or DM at the right time. So you don't just spring it on them, but once they've got to the point where they would book the call, you do all the things the call does using a pre-selling system and then let them buy through a sales page or a DM. So the pre-selling system, essentially people find you, they binge your content, they know your offer, they've seen the components, they know how it can help them, how it works, how the investment works. And then your call or sales page or DM does the rest. So now that you know why setters and closers will absolutely sabotage your business if you're under 6-figure months at a very minimum, or maybe you just want to build without them and get pre-qualified buyers ready to pay and keep that extra 25% to yourself, then watch this video next where I break down exactly how I set up this pre-selling system to get people buying with no objections.